to make real change in the world. And like, I just think about the two of them together coming from the places that they're, both of their hearts are pulling towards serving the community and changing it for the better. And here you are with like head of the foundation with like resources to be able to actually do these things. Like how amazing. I mean, to really kind of dive into medical justice.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, we haven't seen that yet.
No, and it's a really real thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just we'll set up a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You guys just send us some money and we'll do it. We'll act it out ourselves.
We'll go shoot it. We'll go make a little mini movie and then you guys can see what you think.
I'm eating now.
I really appreciate how serious you are about being professional in this moment. Thank you. As always, par for the course. Okay, I have a question from Kay, who says, "What's your favorite J-April scene?"
You go.
Okay, I have so many. I have so many. I think probably one of my favorites was that like 15-page scene we had in J-April the movie. Took all day to shoot it. Ended with throwing fortune cookies at one another.
Yeah. You
got really sick off of Chinese food because you decided to eat 95 dumplings on the first take.
Yeah, this is called the Justin Chambers lesson.
Yes.
Which is to like when shooting a scene, don't invest too early in committing to eating, as I'm doing now, eating things, because then you have to match it every single time. And when you are really hungry, don't come to set hungry.
You both show up hungry, always. And you're like, oh, dumplings, that looks good.
That impression does represent the intellect at play in those moments.
I want that in my belly. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, but I love that scene. I loved that scene because you never get epic scenes like that on television. You don't get a scene that lasts for an entire act of a show where you get to have a very real, big, long conversation that takes many twists and turns. I remember you took a picture of all the marks on the floor.
Oh, yeah, right.
We got to just play, and it was so fun finding our way through the J-April kitchen living area, moving through all of the different emotions. And I also remember shooting that scene like towards the end of the day after we've been shooting, because we only shot that scene all day. Towards the end, we were in my coverage for a big heated fight moment, and I like lost the gas. I just was like, and I remember asking you, I'm like, why am I mad? Why am I right about this? Why am I convinced that like my argument is the right one? And you like put your hands on my shoulder. You're like, this is what it is. It's because of this, and this, and I've been a fucking asshole, and that's what you just.
Oh wow.
It was great. It was great because it was just one of those moments. Like we would do that for each other all the time, though. Like, what is this about? Can you help me? And then, but the fact that you were literally playing an argument with me where you had to be convinced of your point of view in order
but could understand yours.
Yes. But then helped me figure out mine so that I could do my
it's so like almost meta for real life, in like a real life situation. Argument, we've all been in relationships, and you're in arguments, and you're in the living room, and you're pacing around, and you're doing some business, and
you lose the thread.
And you lose the thread.
Yeah.
I remember being in an argument with a girlfriend, and we laughed about this like that night and ever since. But being in a real argument, but I had just gotten a new chair at the house. And so I'm arguing, like we're bickering about something, and I think the chair swivels to rise and fall because it's a little lower than I expected when I bought it online or whatever at the store. So I think that I'll spin it to raise it up so I can sit in it while we're talking. So I figured I'm just going to go spin, and sit. but I'm spinning it. It's not going. It doesn't raise. I'm grossly misinformed. So I'm trying to have a very serious argument with somebody, but I'm just spinning and going nowhere. And at a certain point, she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I thought it would raise. Forget it.
Like, I'm raising the chair, damn it.
Right. So to be able to like step out, step in, appreciate a moment of humor, but still, let's finish this.
Yes.
Wait, why am I even?
Why
I love you. Why am I even upset? Yeah.
Well, because there were also moments in that, like, we did not want our characters to get divorced. We were so sad about it.
Oh, right. Yes.
We were so sad. Remember that divorce scene that we had to do where we just like sat there in our chairs and we're like, this is such a sad day. And
having to perform things truly in a real way, but against your will, like against your wishes.
Yes.
It's a pretty wild.
I had to come up with a reason that this wasn't working when I was like, but it can.
Looking to the writers like with pleading eyes. You want to change this? No?
Don't you want this to be a romantic comedy? Can it end that way, please? Yeah.
So those are really good scenes.
That was
Let me
good.
see.
What about your favorite scene?
God. There's so many, and I feel like what keeps coming to me is like sometimes it's like the shorter moments that the characters have had in between. Like, yes, we have these big albatross scenes that are really epic and amazing, but I almost like when the characters were first finding each other and learning how to be, and it was kind of secret. There's even a scene that I think I posted when I took over IG yesterday of, I guess they had just slept together for the first time, and Kepner comes out of, and she still had some tension, I think, with Karev. Before I beat him up.
That scene, I totally forgot about that scene.
And then you come out and she's like, your mom keeps asking me why I'm tired, and you do this blush, like bashful thing and walk away, and Meredith is giving me shit about it. Like those little, God, they look so young. They feel, there's an innocence to it, right? Before the pregnancy and the marriage and some of the adult things that we come to understand. But that in the innocent moments early on, trying to figure out and argue about whether you might be pregnant. I mean, remember that scene? I pull you into a patient room and like, condoms don't break. Just kind of those like stupid young.
Yeah, I had this like, what? What are you even saying right now? You're a medical professional. Condoms don't break.
Yeah, I really like that early stuff when we didn't know, where we were confused. Mm-hmm. Both, even as actors, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't have an established foundation to return to.
Yeah.
We're just kind of figuring out how these two people from different walks of life and different belief systems are resisting the inclination to trust their gut.
Mm-hmm.
And like be comfortable with each other, even though, but on paper it doesn't make sense, but I'm supposed to this, and I owe this, that, I owe this to them and my mom and the church and whatever. But we're just this magnetism. Because as an actor, like, it's just something you can, playing the truth of something is like just a real liberating experience.
Yeah, totally. And I also really love that, from the beginning, we had no idea that we were going to wind up together. In fact, some people have posted an interview I did during my first season on the show, first season as a series regular, where they were like, who do you want to wind up with on the show? I'm like, well, I mean, there aren't that many options. I mean, my voice is so high pitched. I'm so young. I'm so stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm just clueless. I don't know. My hair is horrible. But anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't really know, because everybody's taken, but I mean, there's really only Jackson, but I can't imagine they're going to want to put the two newbies together. Like, that would be weird. Like, that was what I said yeah. And then I remember when the writers were trying to figure out, like, who are we going to put April with? And it was like between you and Karev. Like, it was going to be one, but we didn't know which one.
Well, you first were like swooning over Derek, right? Which would just put you in the doghouse. Yeah. As actors, as new actors on an established show, it's like you can think about what your character would want, and you think about what the fans might react to, because you want to be liked, or do you want to, have an impact? So it's a little tricky.
It's so tricky. Oh my gosh, those first couple seasons when everybody detested April Kepner. That was fun.
Kepner was a little much for everybody.
She was a lot. She was a lot. She was challenging. But then
But
she had a really profound evolution. So
she was never boring.
she was
Um,
never boring, that's for sure.
okay, new question.
Okay. Well, here's one. It's just like a statement, but I like this. Missy says, not a question, but even though my shipper self would have loved to see a spicy scene, it was really admirable how much Jabril has grown into actually communicating. Look at our babies out here thriving.
That's good.
I actually really love that because I do think I had a lot of people say, "Where's the kiss?" We're so mad
Hmm.
that there was no kiss. Like, why would you do that to us? And I just feel like they've both grown and matured so much in the past, and this episode with all the different layers that it had, um, it made sense that they wouldn't be impulsive in this moment. Like, you've just made this giant ask of her,
Yeah.
right? And spoken from your heart out of a place of vulnerability and passion and all of those things. It feels like it was too soon, I think. You know?
Yeah, I mean, well, also, so much of the beginning of their relationship was impulsive.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
done the impulsive thing. We've done the just kind of leap and figure it out and clean up the mess later or don't. And it's it's the first time they've had that conversation. Who knows what happened? What happens on the second Friday they land in Boston and are put the kid
Having
down.
eating Chinese food again, and he went and got her a bunch of
Yeah,
more.
like more dumplings. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it is nice to be able to have a mature, patient response and not lean to getting drunk and being impulsive and like that. We've done that. We can do that. But yeah, I think that it's funny. Some people are like, yeah, when are you gonna guys gonna kiss already? When are you gonna hook up? But you're already projecting that in your head. Let us do something else.
Yeah, exactly. I like that it like leaves something for the imagination.
Hmm.
Oh, this is a nice one. You might be nice, but you might also not be nice in the response. What did you miss the most about working together?
Um,
I'm waiting for you to say something obnoxious.
well, I lost my scene interpreter who tell me what's happening. So I had to hire somebody, which was awkward. Um, uh, but you know what? Honestly, it was shit. The truth is, it was so it's twofold. Me, the person, and for the character that I'm portraying, both definitely there was a gaping hole in being with somebody who really knows them, who doesn't, they're not going to misinterpret them, or they have a shorthand with it, really knows them. And God, if what we all don't want in life is to be known, is to
Mm-hmm.
be understood, which is to say, be understood, to just be considered, to be like, for you to be able to have access to pull. I remember not even just reading it, but when you were actually saying it, when we were doing the scene, when you call him on, because I really believe that, I'm embodying this belief that I should go do this. I've got it. I'm solid. You can't knock me off of my position. And then you're like, yeah, but when have you ever cared about that? When have you ever wanted to do that? When have you literally been running from your family the whole time? And it's like, oh, fuck. All of
Right,
that is true.
right.
And not many people have such quick access to that, and not in a way that's trying to hurt me, not in a way that's
No,
like
yeah.
using it as an insult. That there's few things more um
Is I'm holding a mirror up. I'm like holding a mirror up. What
but
like
a real mirror. A lot of
a
people
real
play with
one.
that
Yeah.
phrase. A lot of people play with that, but no, a real one that is there for understanding, not for abuse. Like
No, yeah,
not to
that's what I
fucking
mean. Like
hurt the other person.
the way that a mirror reflects the glory and the things that you might not want to say. Like like she knows him so well, right? She knows him so well, and so she can speak into. I don't know if that tracks because look at the whole history, but then she can also stand up and be like, you are an amazing surgeon. You are changing the world. You are brilliant. Like, she's affirming him and also challenging him at the same time. Like the way that I think a really good, beautiful mirror should work, you know?
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
you see the beauty, but you also challenge. You challenge and go like, what are you doing right now? Can you take a look? Take a look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's you can't buy that, you can't replace that, and it takes a long time. It takes not only a long time to develop that knowing between people, but also it takes hurdles, it takes obstacles, it takes conflict, which suck in the moment, but develop an understanding. So the rest, you know, since April left, I would dare say, you look back, it's a lot of just trying to understand himself and be understood by others, and failing and trying it over here and trying this relationship, which is all an uphill battle to be understood, and that's not working, and try this. Okay, what if I don't try anything and just sleep with somebody? That's fun, it's nice, but it's not a deep like none of those things are understanding. So that's what I say I missed, and made it so much more compelling to perform and come to work every day.
Yeah. I mean, I echo all of that. I think I remember saying to you after we shot that first scene, like just looking at you and being like, oh, it's so easy. It's just so easy. Like, I missed it, you know? I missed that exchange, that the ease with which you and I, as Jesse and Sarah, the people and the actors, are able to communicate so well and support one another. Are you falling asleep right now? Is that
No, not at all. I'm adjusting. Yeah.
There is something that, you know, gets built when you spend 9 years telling stories that have trauma in them and real things that you have to go through, and that you guys, that we've played and that the audience has witnessed, that we can pull from actual moments, not just backstory, but real moments that people have seen, that we have lived, you know. It makes you don't get that. You just don't get that kind of communication and story on most shows or films. You just don't have the time to get it. So yeah. So working with you was so fun, but then also the story was so rich. So that was like delightful.
Yeah, that was great.
Were you surprised that J-April broke the internet again? There's still a trend in some countries.
I don't know. I mean, yes, I am surprised. I'm not like from 0 to 100 surprised, but we still got it, and the fans still connect to it, and that's really, it feels nice. Shit, I can, admit that it feels really nice for people to, we were talking about understanding before, to people to really respond and feel like they know these people, and their gut was right, their intuition was right. So I think there's a validation experience with the fans. Like, I fucking knew it. I knew that this was unfinished. I knew that you guys need to be in a room together. And so often for them, they're powerless, and they just have to see what we do, and they can call bullshit on things they don't feel like it's connecting, or that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't track, or that. And for them to, so it feels good for them to be happy for something that is meaningful and that I can understand, as opposed to just something that's kind of frivolous.
Yeah, I agree. I also after we posted that first little video and the behind the scenes thing, and just like, we were sitting on set after we posted that, seeing the response, and we just kept looking at each other like, look at this.
Yeah.
What? It was, so we
it's
had
a weird
time
time travel
of that before the episode aired, for sure. I didn't expect quite the earthquake of it all, but it was super fun. Oh yeah, so many callbacks in the episode. Throw pillows, Jordan, Samuel. How did it feel to bring up so much of J-April's history?
I'm just thinking about, like, it's there. It was there no matter what. Like, the character remembers it. Saying it out loud as a refresher I get how that helps everybody to kind of come to the same space and remember and clock all the ingredients that affect the dish. Um, but I already know it, so it didn't. I don't know that it. I don't know that it really impacted my experience. But I'm glad that it helped welcome more people into it.
Yeah, I was. I think it also was like a lovely gift for the fans who have, you know, tracked. I talked to one of the interviewers today, said that in preparation for this episode, she literally went through the entire series from the moment we came on and watched every Japril scene, like
Mm-hmm.
just to like refresh.
That'd be interesting. That's a level of research and preparation that I'm just unwilling to do.
That's because I do it for you.
Because I'll just talk to ask you. Um, yeah, that's really interesting. I was actually talking to a good friend of mine today he's never seen the show, and watched last night and watched some of the scenes from Japril 1 or 2, and it was just interesting because he felt very much like he got a real he didn't feel left out as much. He's, you know,
Yeah.
obviously I haven't seen the show. I'm sure I'm missing things, but Jesus, the chemistry is very clear, and I get a very real understanding, not only in the lines he said, but as in the dialogue, but in the space between the lines, and just the quiet reactions. It was really, really, they were really transfixed by it, which says a lot. This is you know, you miss 300 hours of a show, but you can drop in and just be whooshed into the depth of it.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction to a couple of girlfriends who told me that they aren't people who watch the show, but they watched it last night and they're like, it felt like its own story. I am immediately invested in these two humans because like the depth was there and the chemistry was there, like all the things that you just said. But they're like, I didn't actually need to know all of those backstory things, you know?
So is a fan is going to cut together all the Japril scenes, all the scenes that affect Japril in one way or another. So those could be scenes that are just about you or just about Kepner or just about Avery also. Like we don't both have to be in all of them. And they'll edit them all together and weave them all together into an epic. I wonder how long that would be, what the runtime is.
We've given you an assignment.
So get to work.
So
Peru, Argentina, Brazil, South Africa.
Please get on this immediately. Thank you. Can we all just like appreciate Jesse's brilliance in all of the stuff last night? I just
That's not a question.
I just need to say it because there are 26,000 people watching and just a big clap, just like a yay. Like a wow. There's one specific question right here about the stuff with your dad that he I mean that scene with you and your dad on the steps just absolutely destroyed me. It broke my heart. It was so beautiful. But this is the question from Kate. For Jesse, how did you approach Jackson's abandonment issues? What was going through your head when Eric Roberts said, "Not one day has passed that I haven't regretted leaving you. It haunts me in my sleep when I wake in the morning, and I'm truly, truly sorry."
Well, thank you. It is actually, even revisiting it, even thinking about it, even hearing you talk about it, watching it is actually quite emotional and difficult. It's I think that one thing that folks might not appreciate, or not understand, not appreciate, but it's that this shit is hard and it's really emotionally taxing. When my character is feeling pain, I'm feeling pain. Like the body can't always tell the difference. Even I had to do ADR, which is when you go into the booth and have to verbally just redo a scene, redo a moment, redo a word because it was unclear. I'm also a mumbly speaker. So sometimes you have to come in and watch the scene and say, triumph again. You got to say the word again because it wasn't clear. And having to do that for a part of that scene, it's fairly devastating. Like it really was. You become, I am the character, and it hurts, and it's a lot of deep, deep pain and abandonment and confusion and uncertainty and just raging insecurity. That is not a pleasant feeling, and you metabolize that. It's in your body. So, what you saw was real, because I was experiencing it. Um, and what I found interesting in seeing it on screen was that it wasn't even that quote that that person asked about. I feel like if I remember correctly, it wasn't even the obvious line of hurt, right? The dad says, whatever he said, I miss you. I think about you every day. I don't think it was even that made Jackson explode into not being able to stifle these feelings and desperately trying to shove them back in. It was something like him saying for the one time the right thing, which was like, I didn't send the presents because I didn't have the right to, because I haven't earned that, and something that was actually kind of appropriate for the moment.
Yeah.
For the first time ever in my whole life, like,
ugh.
It hurts more that, so you can think
so
and
you're
feel
capable. You're not
yeah
totally incapable, but you chose not to actually
yeah
act on
it
your
doesn't
capability.
it doesn't yeah it's, you don't realize how much you're shoving it down and keeping the dam is holding it back until it just breaks, and when it's breaking, and I'll grab it and try to put it back in the box, and it was pretty brutal. And you feel safe working with. He's just an incredible actor and an incredibly sweet person, Eric Roberts. So it was it was really difficult. Yeah, I don't remember what the question was, but that was
it's
that
great.
was a
I don't know,
pretty.
but you said good stuff. I mean, I echo, like, not about this, obviously not this scene, but like what you said about things living in your body doesn't know the difference. I mean, I know I've told this story a bunch, but when we played that scene where I had to give birth to Samuel and he died in my arms, I went into premature labor literally the next morning, and my daughter was born a month early, and she was in the NICU for 2 weeks.
Just to be clear, I don't know if people are really appreciating that. Sarah was literally pregnant, very pregnant, third term pregnant, while shooting our birth trauma scenes where her character is going to give birth to a child who's in terrible danger and damage and not going to live very long at all and be in pain and discomfort, and we're going to have to meet and leave in almost the same moment. And she had experienced that while actually pregnant, and it ostensibly induced a premature labor for her because her body couldn't tell the goddamn difference from that incredible stress and strain. By the way, something that it just a new level of, certainly something as a man I can't understand, but it was something that I feel like a few of our actresses have had to experience around maternal, around mothering and being pregnant and juggling things when your body affects something else. There's another living being that is directly impacted by your blood pressure, by your spirit. That's a hell of a gift you've given to the audience for the sake of storytelling, and we see that it's transformative for people.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, that was intense. It was intense. So and the like sorrow. I remember when our characters were going through a divorce, and I'd come home and I'd be like really sad after a like particularly sad scene, and Peter would have to look at me and be like, "We're still married.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. Your children are both alive.
Yeah.
I am here."
Oh, poor guy.
Can you please put April away?
Yeah.
She's
Which is
so
hard
sad
to do.
Right now.
Just really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's like you need, somehow, another level, people sometimes need therapy of some kind to like compartmentalize it or just process it out.
You gotta like take that drive home and undo it, put on some music, like take those deep breaths before you step back into your real life, because you have like residual stuff in your body. It's just by the way, someone just wrote, does anyone else with OCD really annoyed by Jesse's broken hat strap?
Is it broken or is it just it's broken? Wait, it's broken.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Now I'm definitely gonna keep it. Screw you guys. Hold on a second. Look at this.
That question, but thank you.
Oh, wow.
That made me really happy.
Hold on. My broken headset. Buy me a new one. Damn. Okay. See, the stress of playing this goddamn character. My forehead veins are bursting and it's
Yeah,
breaking my hat.
that's it. It's your forehead
That's what
veins.
it
There's
is.
strong veins right there.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see.
What else? What else? We got a few more minutes here, guys. What else do
I
you
know.
want to know? What do you
I
want to
know.
know? What do you want to know?
What do you want to
Sarah
know?
is beautiful. How was the bus episode? Somebody said. Oh, well, you acted your ass off when my hero in the fire
Yes. Do you know,
moment.
I saw somebody on Twitter put me going like Jackson and like putting my hands to my head and then put it next to you when I'm getting my stomach cut open. Talk about, remember on when Harriet was
Yeah,
born?
yeah.
Yeah. There's a moment where you're like, ah, when you're on the phone, you're like, save her,
Oh
don't
shit!
let her
Yes,
die. And you do the
yes.
same thing and they
Oh
put
no way!
both of them together. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I want to see that. I remember that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That was crazy. I had panic attacks after that I blacked
Yeah.
out like 3 times, slightly, but during that cutting open and
On the
screaming
table,
was
yeah,
during,
with Ben.
that was nuts. Um, uh, oh, okay. Sarah, what were the easiest and most challenging parts of saying hello to April again? And Jesse, in what ways has Jackson grown throughout the years to lead him to this decision to leave Seattle? And to what extent were you involved in developing the story?
You go first.
Um, Easiest and most challenging parts of saying, well, the easiest was knowing that I was coming back to primarily just do an episode with Jesse. I knew that I wanted to do that. I always wanted them to have more closure and some sort of um I wanted to be there for him in his last episode. Like that just made sense to me in every way. So it would have been very hard for me to say no to that. Um, and challenging. I mean, challenging just to step back into it after 3 years of really kind of moving beyond and moving past and going on to do
Right.
other things. Um, After having, it was hard for me to say goodbye to her 3 years ago. It was emotional and challenging for sure. So to kind of open myself up to feeling all those things again,
Yeah.
it was definitely that part of it was challenging, but then it was immediately easy because I got to work with this Joker.
What was my question?
In what ways has Jackson grown throughout the years to lead into this decision to leave Seattle? And to what extent were you involved in developing the story?
Well, he's grown in that um, it's one thing to, you got to know something exists before you can acknowledge it. So him kind of acknowledging that he is damaged, as he said, he has been, his relationships have been impacted. He has been negatively impacted by this gaping wound around abandonment. And how do you process that? And then what is the source of that? Do I have the temerity to face it, or go drive and go address it, or go to mom and go ask her and demand a response? All those things are really big steps. We've all had, conversations in our head with confrontational conversations with our head with people that affect our lives that we've never quite,
yes.
you never quite got it out though. You never, or you still haven't, but you should and you will.
Or you
That,
won't because you're too
or
afraid
you won't,
to.
or you won't.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The amount of God yeah, come on. So that's really relatable. And yeah, I definitely had influence. We collaborated big time. By the way, shout out to the writers of the episode, Felicia Pride and Elizabeth Finch, known to us as
So
Finchy.
amazing.
And of course, Krista Vernoff, our showrunner, who, touches affects everything the light touches, in a beautiful way. And this was a lot. This was a very emotional process, a bittersweet process, right? There's satisfaction in it. There's terrible fear in it. There's anxiety in it, all those things. So it's really hard you're excited, but you're devastated. You're sad, but you're really happy. You're really pleased to be able to articulate something new that a lot of people can relate to and just can't find the words for. but it, like I said, it really was painful. This was a really emotionally painful experience for me. I do not, I it was not um, emotionally fun or happy. Intellectually, I was overjoyed to be able to work with you and be able to be there. We were happy about that, but it takes a toll. So yeah, so it was all those things, and luckily we work in a place where the people, all of this stuff starts. We don't have a show without the writers. We don't have anything without an idea on the page and somebody who knows how to communicate that. And luckily, they're so generous and we're able to really collaborate and build together and disagree and enlighten each other. And I hadn't thought about it that way. Oh, that's true. I was, maybe that was from ego that I was actually thinking I should do it this way. But the
Mhm.
truth of it could be this. And so being able to really be patient with each other and learn, it's pretty awesome. One of the many things I will forever cherish about the process. Um, and being responsive to the truth of that, like the only person that really knows that he can talk to is needs to return, that we've seen on camera. Like we can I think off camera Jackson has a real understanding with Meredith as well, but we've seen us really live it out. So
Mhm.
let's go back to the source to really get the truth from both of them and some closure. And look, it worked. It's working. People feel seen and heard and validated, and like they can understand. It's a pretty big deal for a lot.
Can't hear you. Oh, now I can.
It's because I got a call. I'm very
Okay.
popular. I get a lot of phone calls, and
I haven't gotten a
but
single call during this.
these these the fans that we're all talking to right now, y'all are from 240 different territories around the world, hundreds of different countries. All have different cultural nuances and habits, and somehow what we're creating touches you all in a certain way. So that's something that we should be. I am proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. I
Um.
actually texted Krista last night just to say that I'm so pleased. Y'all, I called Jesse actually last night last night after watching it, bawling. Just so proud to have been a part of this, so proud to be your friend, to see all of the beautiful things that you have brought into this role, and to get to walk out with you on your exit. It was so sweet. So
It's
I
pretty
and
cool.
I texted Kristen. I was just like, I'm so glad I said yes. Thank you so much for bringing me back. This was so special. So
Yeah. Um. Well, I will also say, just as we come to a close on this, that it feels like the end of an era, end of things. But we also have. It's hard to process it all right now.
yeah.
Like I admit that I don't have all complete thoughts and understanding because it's all just happening in real time. I think that in a week or whatever, when we have the Jackson farewell episode, which I think I anticipate will still be very tied to this relationship. Um, Maybe I'll come back on and share some more farewell thoughts and have a moment to pull out, and zoom out, I should say, and get a sense of time and space and how I feel. So it's not. My point is that we'll talk again. We'll talk again soon and keep processing this stuff together. And on behalf of both of us, and we'll say this in other forms and fashions also, but to y'all as fans, we this doesn't happen without you. It just simply doesn't happen without you. You guys are directly involved in the magic that has been created and is being created. So we think of you, we consider you, we love and respect and are so grateful for you. There is,
Yes.
it's not us and then the